Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're exploring a really interesting intersection where data security meets physical security. We're talking about AI-powered video surveillance.
Yeah, but not just any systems. We're focusing on the ones designed to meet really strict government procurement standards.
Exactly. Forget doorbell cameras. This is enterprise-grade stuff. Think federal buildings, state agencies, critical infrastructure.
And the rules here are, well, they're serious. The big one is the National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA.
Right.
Basically, if a system has certain components from specific Chinese manufacturers, it's a no-go for U.S. government use, security concerns, supply chain worries. So NDAA compliance, it's the absolute baseline. You don't even get in the door without it.
So our mission today, using our sources, is to really dig into the top 8 solutions that are NDAA compliant. We want to look at features, sure, but maybe more importantly, the different ways they're built, the architectural trade-offs.
Yeah.
For you, the listener, we're trying to get at a key question. When you layer advanced AI onto these super secure systems, what actually works best? Is everything moving to the cloud?
Or do you still need that hefty on-premise hardware stack?
Or is there, some kind of clever hybrid emerging? That's what we want to figure out.
And just to set the stage, we're talking about systems built for trust. These aren't just cameras, they're vetted for government use. That means serious security protocols, end-to-end encryption,
Right.
robust data privacy controls. Often, our sources mention there's another layer to TAA compliance, the Trade Agreements Act.
Ah, okay. For ensuring the supply chain itself is from trusted countries.
Exactly. It all ties together.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's start then with the solution our sources seem to highlight as maybe the most integrated or innovative example. That's the Alpha Vision and Access Communications pairing. The description is government-grade cloud AI on trusted access hardware. So what makes this particular combination stand out from, say, the older ways of doing security?
Well, I think what's really interesting here is how it tackles the legacy infrastructure problem, all those servers and recorders.
Docs is in the closet.
Yeah, exactly. This pairing creates a cloud-managed platform. It's designed to be plug and play using those really high-quality access cameras everyone trusts.
Okay.
But the key thing, it completely gets rid of the need for those on-site NVRs, network video recorders, or DVRs. No big, heavy server racks needed on-site for the core video processing and management.
This sounds like a pretty big deal operationally. Taking out the NVR, that gets rid of a lot of headaches, doesn't it? Cooling, software patching, physical security for the box itself.
Oh, absolutely. And failure points. NVRs fail, hard drives fail.
Yeah.
This approach shifts that whole burden, the processing, the management, the storage, potentially to the cloud. So you get real-time intelligence delivered paired with that great access image quality.
Yeah.
But without needing this massive upfront investment in, proprietary servers and all the support they require.
Okay, so that's the infrastructure simplification.
Yeah.
Now the AI part. Our sources say this turns cameras from just recording devices into active agents. How does that work? What can it actually do for, say, a government agency or a large company?
Right, this is where it gets really powerful. Let's maybe highlight 3 key features. First, there's something called magic search.
Okay.
Instead of an analyst having to sit there and manually scrub through hours, maybe days of footage,
Ugh, yeah, the worst.
they can just search using natural language, like type in, show me all the people without hard hats in Zone B yesterday afternoon, or find the blue delivery truck that pulled up to the loading dock between 10 and 11 a.m.
Wow, okay, so investigation time drops dramatically.
Potentially from hours, down to minutes. It's a huge efficiency gain.
That's massive. But what about enforcing rules, compliance? Things like safety checks. Usually that's like manual spot checks or audits, right?
Well, that's where the second feature comes in. AI Inspector. It essentially automates those policy and compliance checks.
How so?
Think about a secure facility needing to ensure only authorized personnel are in certain areas. Or maybe a construction site checking for personal protective equipment, PPE, like hard hats and vests.
Right.
The AI can automatically identify when someone's not wearing PPE, or if someone's loitering near a restricted fence line, or if a vehicle is parked in a no parking zone. It flags those incidents automatically.
And generates alerts or reports.
Exactly. Immediate alerts, data for compliance reports. It moves compliance from reactive sampling to continuous monitoring.
Okay, that's powerful. And the third capability you mentioned, something about intervention.
Yes, live intervention. This is about moving from just recording incidents to actively preventing or de-escalating them in real time.
How does that work?
Because the platform integrates natively with IP speakers, speakers connected to the network.
Uh-huh.
An operator, prompted by an AI alert, can immediately use two-way audio. They can talk down to someone, issue a warning.
Ah, okay. So if the AI flags someone climbing a fence,
Exactly. The operator gets an alert, sees the live video, and can immediately say, "You are trespassing in a restricted area. Please leave immediately. Authorities have been notified."
right, before the situation potentially gets worse.
Precisely. It adds that critical human-in-the-loop element for response, triggered by the AI's detection. It makes security much more proactive.
And all this intelligence, this AI processing,
Yeah.
is running on data coming from access cameras, which, as you said, are trusted for evidence.
That's the crucial link. The underlying images have to be crystal clear, reliable, usable as evidence, and Axis is sort of the gold standard there.
Right.
Our sources point to things like their, high optical zoom up to 40x sometimes for identifying details at a distance, 360-degree panoramic views to kill blind spots, really strong low-light performance.
And they're built tough, right, for outdoor use.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Rugged designs, non-proprietary hardware. The idea is you get that forensic quality imaging, that foundation of trust, combined with the speed and intelligence of the cloud AI. Imaging plus intelligence.
Okay, that gives us a really solid picture of one approach, this integrated cloud-managed AI on trusted hardware model. Now, let's broaden the view. The other 7 solutions show that, well, not everyone agrees on this architecture, right? There are different philosophies.
Definitely. We see basically 3 other main approaches emerge when you look at the limitations described in our sources.
Let's group them then. What's the first major category?
Okay, category 1 we could call the unified enterprise platforms. These are the traditional heavyweights. Think massive, often custom-built systems trying to be the central nervous system for all physical security.
Okay, like Genetec Security Center. That name comes up a lot in big projects.
Exactly. Genetec is kind of the classic example of an open architecture platform. Its strength is unifying everything: video feeds, access control systems, maybe license plate recognition, LPR, intercoms, you know it.
So flexibility is the big plus.
Huge flexibility. It's designed to work with almost any NDAA-compliant camera brand, integrate with tons of different door controllers or sensors. You can build almost anything with it.
But that sounds complex. What are the downsides our sources mention?
Well, that openness comes at a cost. First, deployment is complex. It's definitely not plug and play. Requires significant configuration and expertise.
Okay.
Second, there's a steeper learning curve for operators to really use all the features. Third, and this is key, it relies on a server-heavy core. You need powerful servers on-premise, which means IT infrastructure, cooling, power, maintenance, patching.
Right, that IT overhead we talked about.
Yeah, a lot of it. And finally, the licensing can get expensive, especially at scale. You often buy the base VMS, then add licenses for more cameras, then separate modules for advanced analytics, or LPR. It adds up.
So maximum control, maximum customization, but also maximum complexity and infrastructure cost.
Yeah.
How does the other big player in this category, Avigilon, now owned by Motorola Solutions, compare?
Yeah.
Is it similar?
Avigilon takes a slightly different tack within that enterprise space. It's generally less open than Genetec, more focused on its own ecosystem.
Yeah.
Their big focus is on premium, often very high-resolution cameras, paired with sophisticated AI developed in-house. Things like their appearance search, which lets you track a person across different cameras based on descriptions like person in a red jacket.
So the advantages may be tighter integration and powerful built-in analytics.
Exactly. High-quality imaging and often impressive self-learning analytics, tightly integrated. But the flip side is, well, it's a premium, often proprietary system. Meaning higher costs, typically, both for the cameras and the software. And you're largely buying into their ecosystem. The best features work best, or only with their cameras and recorders.
Right, vendor lock-in, potentially.
Mm-hmm. And traditionally, Avigilon systems are also on-premise focused, meaning you still need that local server infrastructure. Similar to Genetec, you're buying an integrated, high-end, but potentially less flexible suite.
Okay, that sets up a really clear contrast for the next category. Let's call it category 2, the pure cloud VMS models. These seem to go in the opposite direction, right?
Yeah.
Prioritizing simplicity, getting rid of on-site servers entirely.
That's the promise, yeah. Moving everything, management, storage, even analytics offsite to the cloud. VMS, by the way, just stands for Video Management System. It's the software layer.
Got it. So who fits in here? Eagle Eye Networks is one name mentioned.
Right. Eagle Eye Networks offers a cloud VMS that's designed to be camera agnostic. You can, in theory, connect many different brands of NDAA-compliant cameras to their cloud platform.
Yeah.
The big advantage they promote is centralized management. You can view and manage cameras across hundreds or thousands of locations, think retail chains, corporate campuses, all from a single web browser or app. They also offer cloud-based LPR and analytics.
Sounds convenient. What's the trade-off? What's the catch with that simplicity?
Well, a couple things. First, while it's cloud managed, you usually still need a small piece of hardware on site. They call it a bridge or gateway appliance to connect the local cameras to the internet and buffer recordings.
Ah, okay. So not quite zero hardware on site.
Not usually zero, no. And second, your system's performance is heavily dependent on your internet connection. If you have unstable or limited bandwidth at a site, your video streaming, recording, and access can suffer.
Makes sense.
And third, the financial model shifts. Instead of a large upfront capital expense for servers, you're paying recurring subscription fees, usually per camera, per month, or year, indefinitely.
Right. CapEx versus OpEx.
Yeah.
A different budget calculation.
Exactly.
What about the other player in this pure cloud space mentioned? Rhombus systems. How are they different?
Rhombus takes the cloud concept maybe even further. They aim for a true end-to-end cloud AI system. Zero servers on site is their big promise. Just plug in their camera, connect it to the network, and it works. Managed entirely from the cloud.
Okay, so maximum simplicity, rapid deployment.
That's the pitch. Quick setup, built-in object analytics running in the cloud, continuous feature updates delivered automatically. For organizations that prioritize speed and ease of use, it's attractive.
But there's always a but, isn't there? What's the limitation here?
The big one is vendor lock-in. Rhombus systems generally require you to use their proprietary cameras. You can't typically connect cameras from Axis or Hanwha or others to their system.
Ah, so you're fully committed to their hardware and software ecosystem.
Pretty much. You gain that simplicity and the cloud benefits, like seamless updates, but you lose hardware flexibility entirely. And like Eagle Eye, it's cloud dependent. If the internet goes down, your live view and potentially some functionality might be limited, depending on the specific setup. Less ideal for places needing air-gapped networks or full offline capability.
So that really forces a strategic choice, doesn't it? Is that speed and simplicity worth locking yourself into one vendor's hardware roadmap, potentially forever? That's a serious trade-off.
It absolutely is a fundamental knowledge trade-off, as you put it.
Okay, let's move to the final category. Category 3, open foundations and edge focus. These sound like maybe more modular approaches, letting organizations piece things together.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. These often involve using more open software platforms or focusing intelligence directly on the camera itself, allowing more mixing and matching.
We have to start with Milestone Systems here, right? Their XProtect software is everywhere.
Definitely. Milestone XProtect is often seen as the foundational open platform VMS. Its biggest strength is being extremely hardware agnostic. It supports thousands of camera models from nearly every NDAA-compliant manufacturer.
So maximum choice in cameras.
Maximum choice. Plus, they have a huge marketplace of third-party integrations, analytics companies, access control systems, specialized sensors, you name it. If you want to integrate something specific, there's probably a Milestone plugin for it.
Sounds great for leveraging existing cameras or wanting very specific integrations.
Yeah.
What's the limitation?
Similar to Genetec, in some ways, it requires infrastructure. You need dedicated servers to run the XProtect VMS software, which means IT resources, maintenance, patching.
Right, that server overhead again.
Yeah. And crucially, Milestone itself doesn't have super advanced AI analytics built in natively. If you want sophisticated features like deep learning-based object detection, behavior analysis, or accurate LPR...
You need to buy those from third parties.
Exactly. You have to find, purchase, integrate, and maintain those separate third-party analytics add-ons, which works, but it adds complexity and significantly increases the total cost of ownership beyond just the Milestone license.
So Milestone provides the flexible foundation, but you have to build the intelligence on top of it, often piece by piece.
Yeah.
Okay, what about Hanwha Vision, formerly Samsung TechWin? Their focus is different, right? More on the camera itself.
Yes. Hanwha Vision, with their WiseNet line, has been a leader in putting AI directly onto the camera. This is called Edge AI.
Meaning the analytics run on the camera's chip.
Correct. Things like detecting if someone crosses a virtual line, identifying loitering, detecting audio events like screams or glass breaking, basic object classification. That processing happens right there on the Edge device, the camera.
What's the advantage of doing it there?
Lower latency for alerts, potentially reduce network traffic since not all video has to be streamed back for analysis, and it can work even if the network connection to the central server is temporarily down. Some Hanwha cameras also have built-in audio speakers or flashing lights for immediate deterrence triggered by the Edge AI.
Okay, sounds efficient.
hmm
But is Edge AI as powerful as, say, Cloud AI running on massive servers?
Generally, no. That's the main limitation. The processing power on a camera chip, while impressive, is inherently limited compared to cloud computing resources. So Edge AI is typically lighter. It might struggle with very complex scenes, nuanced behavior analysis across multiple cameras, or learning sophisticated patterns over long periods.
Right. Good for specific tasks, maybe less for system-wide intelligence.
That's a fair way to put it. And you still need a VMS like Milestone or Genetec or Hanwha's own WiseNet Wave VMS to manage all these cameras, view footage, and handle recording. So there's still system management involved, firmware updates for all those edge devices.
Got it. Okay, last one on the list. Access communications, but considered standalone, just the hardware.
Right. We talked about Axis with AlphaVision, but you can, of course, just buy Axis cameras on their own. They are widely regarded as the gold standard for NDAA-compliant hardware.
The benefit being that top-tier image quality and reliability.
Absolutely. Unmatched optics, build quality, reliability. Many models have some basic edge analytics built into, like motion detection or line crossing. The advantage is you're getting arguably the best camera hardware available that meets the compliance needs.
And the limitation, if it's just the camera.
Well, a standalone Axis camera, even a great one, is still primarily just a camera. Its native AI capabilities without additional software licenses or platforms are relatively limited compared to dedicated AI solutions. For enterprise-level features, managing hundreds of cameras, doing sophisticated searches across weeks of footage, long-term storage management, central user permissions,
You still need something else.
you still need an external VMS, which brings you right back to needing a platform like Milestone or Genetec, or maybe a cloud VMS like Eagle Eye, or the integrated solution like AlphaVision we started with. The camera is the sensor, but it needs a brain.
Okay, so we've mapped out the landscape pretty clearly. It really feels like there's this fundamental tension, doesn't it? A real architectural choice point.
Absolutely. You've got, on one side, these big, open, often server-dependent platforms like Milestone and Genetec.
Right.
They offer, ultimate flexibility and control.
But they demand significant IT resources, complex setup, ongoing maintenance.
Right. And then on the other side, you have these rapidly scalable, often cloud-native integrated solutions, thinking about the AlphaVision Axis combo or Rhombus.
Which promise speed, simplicity, maybe lower upfront hardware costs, continuous updates delivered seamlessly.
But often at the cost of vendor lock-in or dependence on cloud connectivity.
It seems like regardless of which path they take architecturally, all 8 of these solutions are fundamentally trying to solve 2 core problems for these government and high-security clients.
I think that's right. What do you see as those 2 main drivers?
Well, first is just clearing the regulatory bar, right? Meeting the NDAA, and often TAA standards. That's table stakes to even be considered for sensitive contracts. They need that trusted hardware and supply chain.
Absolutely. Compliance first.
And second, it's tackling the sheer overwhelm of data. There's just too much video. The AI components, whether cloud, edge, or server-based, seem critical for making that data actually useful.
Yeah, turning surveillance from just passive recording into something actionable, taking investigations that could take days and ideally compressing them down to minutes using things like smart search or automated alerts.
Exactly. Managing information overload.
It's about making security smarter and faster, not just recording more pixels.
Which brings us perfectly to our final thought for you, the listener, to sort of chew on as you think about this landscape. Given that, as our sources suggest, the fastest growing approaches seem to be these cloud-native systems.
The ones offering agility, continuous updates, remote patching.
Right. All that operational ease. How should organizations, especially public agencies, spending taxpayer money with long-term implications, weigh those very real benefits, that agility, that ease of management against the risk, the potential downside of vendor lock-in?
Because often the simplest, most scalable systems are the ones that tie you most tightly to a single company's hardware and software roadmap.
Exactly. It's this knowledge trade-off again, isn't it? Balancing today's operational simplicity against tomorrow's strategic flexibility and long-term control. That seems like the tightrope every security leader has to walk right now.